Hello, my name is Walter Stone, and I teach math at North Shore Community College. This lesson is about long division of whole numbers. Some helpful ideas about division along the way. One idea to remember is that anytime you divide a non-zero number by itself, you get 1. So for example, if I divide 3 by 3, I'm dividing a non-zero number 3, but by itself, we get 1. The second property is that any number divided by 1 remains unchanged. So in other words, if I take 3 and divide it by 1, I get 3. So 3 remained unchanged when I divided it by 1. 0 may be divided by any non-zero number. So if I take 0, divide that by 3, that's like taking nothing of something and dividing it among 3 people, you still would get nothing. So if you divide nothing or 0 by 3, you get 0. And if you try to take 3 divided by 0, you can't divide by 0. You can't take something and divide it 0 ways in any way. So we cannot divide by 0. Many of the problems that we'll work with will be of this form. So notice that the dividend is underneath this division symbol. We divide by a number called the divisor, and our answer is the quotient. So what we do is when we set up a problem, so suppose I want to take a problem like 427 divided by 8. If I see a division problem in that form, 427 is the dividend, 8 is the divisor. So what we do is we write 427 under the division symbol, and we put the 8 outside. We're dividing by the number 8, and whatever answer I get is the quotient. So the quotient is the answer to this division problem. So it'll be great to take a look at an example. So here, notice that I have a piece of notebook paper. So if you have a piece of notebook paper, it's great in order to help you organize your work. Because sometimes we're working a lot with place values of numbers, and it's good to keep track of that. So one thing I recommend you do is that you take the paper and you rotate it so that the lines of the paper are vertical. Instead of horizontal, they are vertical. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite the problem. In this case, I have 427 divided by 8. 427 is the dividend, and 8 is the divisor. So notice that the 4 gets its own column, the 2 gets its own column, the 7 gets its own column. So I have 7 ones, 2 tens, 4 hundreds divided by 8 ones. So this helps me keep the place value system in my mind as I work. And I find that students have a really great time working with division problems this way. So it organizes our work. So one thing I'm going to ask myself is, does 8 divide 4? Well, no, it doesn't. But does 8 divide 42? Well, yes. 8 times 5 is 40. So 42 divided by 8 is approximately 5. So I write 5 above the 2. Okay, so that means we're going to have 5 tens in our answer. And 5 times 8 is 40. So then we subtract. So I counted 5 eighths to give me 40. If I take 42 minus 40, I get 2 tens left, and I bring down the 7. So I have 7 ones. So now I'm taking a look at how many times does 8 go into 27? Well, 27 divided by 8, that's going to be 3 ones. 3 times 8 is 24. So if I subtract 24, I have 3 ones left. So notice in my answer, I have 5 tens. 5 is in the tens column. 3 is in the ones column. So 53 is the quotient of 427 divided by 8. Okay? So now to check my answer, I'm going to take 53 times 8. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 5 is 40 plus 2 is 42. So I have 424. Now notice I have this remainder of 3 at the end of my quotient here. So if I add 3 more, that remainder, I do get back to 427. So I've checked my answer. So I get a quotient of 53 with a remainder of 3 as my answer. So working with the vertical lined paper, this should help you keep track of your place values, and it's very helpful when doing these division type problems. Now it's time for you to try a problem. Divide 288 divided by 9. Work on your problem. Pause the video, work on the problem, and come back. And we can work on our solutions together. First, make sure that you take your paper and you rotate it so that the lines are vertical, so you can keep a place value chart for your work. Okay, so we're taking 288 divided by 9. So I have 2 hundreds, 8 tens, and 8 ones divided by 9. 9 does not go into 2, but 9 does divide 28. So 9 times 3 I know is 27. So 28 divided by 9 is 27 with a remainder. We get a remainder of 1. 28 minus 27 is 1. I'll bring down the 8 ones. And 18 divided by 9 is 2. So 9 times 2 is 18. We subtract 18 and we get 0. So the quotient is 32. So check your work and see if it lines up with my work. And if you're confused with anything, you may want to try this problem one more time and just check your work along the way. Now, here's a place where we are dividing by a 2-digit number rather than a 1-digit number. So we're dividing by 12, which is 1 10 and 2 ones. So I'm going to make my paper vertical. So I have vertical lines. And what I'm going to do is write in 5,024. That's 5 thousands, 0 hundreds, 2 tens, and 4 ones. And we're going to divide that by 12. That's 1 10 and 2 ones. Now, 12 does not divide 5 evenly, but 12 goes into 50. 50 divided by 12, that's close to 48 divided by 12. So 48 divided by 12 is 4. So 12 times 4 is 48. We get a remainder of 2 here. So I have to borrow, rename a 10 in the where I have the 0 there. 10 minus 8 is 2. 4 minus 4 is 0. So now I'm going to bring down the 2 from the tens place. So 12 doesn't divide 22 evenly, but 12 goes into 22 one time. So 1 times 12 is 12. We subtract 12. 2 minus 2 is 0. 2 minus 1 is 1. So we get a remainder of 10. And we bring down the 4 ones. So we bring down the 4 ones this time. So 12 times 8 is 96. So if I take 104, that's bigger than 96. 96 divided by 12 gives me that 8. So 8 times 12 is 96. And we have a remainder of 8. Now I know to stop there because 8 is smaller than 12. So in this case, I'm getting a quotient of 418 with a remainder of 8. So it's your turn for you to try this problem. Let's take a piece of paper and make vertical lines for our place value. And try this problem, pause the video, and come back and compare your answer to what I get as my answer. So we're taking 1,982. So that's 1,982. And we're dividing that by 19. 19 does not go into 1, but 19 goes into 19 one time. So 19 times 19, 19 times 1 gives me 19 back. So we get a remainder of 0. So all I have to do now is bring down the 8. Okay? Now, 19 does not divide 8. So we're going to take 0 tens here. We're going to mark off 0 tens in the quotient. And we'll bring down the 2. Now, 19 goes into 82 4 times. And 4 times 19 is 76. And so I get a remainder. What I have to do is rename the 2 and the 1s to make that a 12, and I'll have 7 tens. 12 minus 6 is 6. 7 minus 7 is 0. So now I have a remainder of 6. 6 is less than 19. So we should have a quotient of 104 with a remainder of 6. So now keep practicing, and we will see you soon.